In the heart of Tokyo, one of the world's most modern and expensive cities, lies a small, unassuming plot of land. While skyscrapers worth billions tower around it, this patch of earth remains untouched, protected not by developers, but by a chilling, centuries-old fear. This is the resting place of Tyranno Masakado's head, and it's arguably the most cursed piece of real estate on the planet. This isn't just an old ghost story. It's a paranormal case so powerful that the Japanese government itself refuses to challenge it. Why would a modern nation be terrified of a samurai who died over 1,000 years ago? The answer is a tale of rebellion, a flying head, and a curse that has claimed lives and defied empires. Let's rewind to the year 940 AD. Japan was in a period of turmoil. A powerful samurai named Tyranno Masakado launched a daring rebellion against the emperor in Kyoto. He declared himself the new emperor of the eastern provinces, which was a shocking act of defiance. His rebellion was swift and initially successful, but it didn't last. The emperor's forces eventually caught up with him, and in a brutal battle, Masakado was defeated and beheaded. To make an example of him, his severed head was sent to the capital, Kyoto, and put on public display. And this is where the story takes a sharp turn from history into terrifying legend. According to the chronicles, Masakado's head didn't decay like a normal head would. For months, it remained eerily preserved. Witnesses claimed its eyes would roll in their sockets and its teeth would gnash together in rage. Then, one night, the head began to glow with a strange, otherworldly light. It levitated from its display stand, shot into the sky, and flew east, screaming as it went, searching for its lost body. The legend says the head eventually ran out of power and fell from the sky in a small fishing village called Shibasaki. This village would, centuries later, grow into the megacity we now know as Tokyo. The terrified villagers found the head, and to appease its vengeful spirit, they washed it clean and gave it a proper burial, marking the spot with a stone monument called a kubazuka, which literally means head mound. For centuries, Masakado's spirit seemed to rest in peace. The samurai was even deified as a local guardian spirit, a protector of Tokyo. But that peace was shattered in the 20th century, when modern progress decided to disturb his slumber. The story of the curse, as we know it today, really begins in the aftermath of a massive natural disaster. In 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake devastated Tokyo. In the rush to rebuild the city, the Japanese Ministry of Finance decided to level the ground where Masakado's grave was located, to build a new temporary office building. They ignored the old legends, seeing them as nothing more than peasant superstition. That was a fatal mistake. Almost immediately after construction began, strange things started to happen. Workers fell ill with unexplained diseases. Tools would go missing. People reported seeing ghostly apparitions on the site at night. But the true horror was yet to come. Within just 2 years of the building's completion, a shocking number of high-ranking officials connected to the project died. The chain of deaths started at the very top. The Minister of Finance himself died suddenly. He was followed by 13 other officials from the ministry. They died from accidents, sudden illnesses, and other mysterious causes. The sheer number of deaths was too much to be a coincidence. Fear gripped the ministry. The office building was quickly torn down, and the land was returned to its original state as a grave site. But Masakado wasn't finished. The government had learned a lesson, but it seems they hadn't learned it well enough. For a while, things were quiet. Then, in 1940, on the 1000th anniversary of Masakado's death, the curse struck again with spectacular force. During a violent thunderstorm, a single bolt of lightning struck the Ministry of Finance's main building, which was located right next to the grave. The building was engulfed in flames and burned to the ground. This time, the message was impossible to ignore. The government finally took the curse seriously. They sponsored a grand Shinto ritual of pacification to appease Masakado's angry spirit, officially recognizing his power and promising never to disturb his grave again. You'd think that would be the end of it, a government acknowledging a vengeful spirit and vowing to leave it alone. But the story has one more incredible chapter. 5 years later, in 1945, World War II ended, and Japan was under American occupation. U.S. forces were redesigning parts of Tokyo, and they saw the empty plot of land next to the Ministry of Finance as the perfect spot for a parking lot for their military vehicles. Ignoring the warnings of local officials, who desperately tried to explain the site's terrifying history, the Americans brought in a bulldozer to level the grave. What happened next became the stuff of local legend. As the bulldozer operator lowered the machine's blade and approached the ancient stone monument, the massive vehicle suddenly and inexplicably flipped over on its side. The operator was crushed instantly and died on the spot. The American military was stunned. This wasn't a case of mysterious illness or a lightning strike. This was a direct, violent, and undeniable event. After the local Japanese officials once again explained the long and bloody history of Masakado's curse, the U.S. occupation forces immediately abandoned the project. They backed away and never touched the grave again. The curse of the samurai had stared down the most powerful military in the world and won. So, what about today? In a city where a single square foot of land can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, Masakado's grave remains. It's a beautifully maintained, tranquil little park, surrounded by some of the most expensive office buildings in Tokyo, including major banks and financial corporations. Local businesses and individuals donate money to maintain the site. You'll always find fresh flowers and offerings left by people who come to pay their respects, praying for protection and good fortune. They're not just honoring history, they're actively trying to keep a 1,000-year-old spirit happy. There's a fascinating and rather spooky rumor about the office workers in the surrounding skyscrapers. It's said that new employees are instructed to do two things. First, they must visit the grave and pay their respects to Masakado. Second, and this is the really chilling part, they are told to make sure their desks are not positioned in a way that would have them sitting with their back turned to the grave. The belief is that showing such disrespect, even unintentionally, could invite the curse upon them. Whether this is company policy or just an unwritten rule born of fear, it shows just how deeply the legend permeates the modern corporate culture of Tokyo. Think about it. In one of the most technologically advanced and rational societies on Earth, multi-billion-dollar corporations and government bodies are arranging their affairs around the whims of a decapitated samurai from the 10th century. It's a stunning example of how the past, no matter how distant or supernatural, can exert a powerful influence over the present. The story of Taira no Masakado is more than just a ghost story. It's a living legend, a piece of paranormal history that you can actually go and visit. It serves as a constant, quiet reminder, sitting in the middle of bustling Tokyo, that there are some forces that even modern progress cannot and should not disturb. So if you ever find yourself in the Marunouchi district of Tokyo, take a moment to visit this small, sacred plot of land. But remember the lessons of the past. Be respectful. Don't turn your back on the grave. And maybe say a small prayer for the samurai who lost his head but never lost his power. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into one of Japan's most enduring curses, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the world's most mysterious places. Let me know in the comments if you've ever heard of another legend where a government takes a curse this seriously. See you next time.